the Wisdom to Wealth podcast. This is the podcast where we interview the wealthiest entrepreneurs and business owners in the world so they can share their journey from zero to wealth. I am your podcast host, Shamar Star Cox, TV producer and marketing coach. My goal is to help 6 and 7 figure business owners create binge worthy content in a way that attracts their followers and converts them into customers. I am also the founder of the Convert Content to Cash Challenge. So if you are a coach and you want to know how to create content that sells, feel free to comment or DM me on Instagram, the word challenge accepted, and I will personally send you an invite. Today, we have Marques Ogden with us. He is a former NFL athlete turned keynote speaker, business coach, consultant, and entrepreneur. He is the founder and CEO of Ogden Ventures LLC, a company dedicated to empowering individuals and organizations to achieve authentic success through resilience and discipline. He's also the recipient of the 2024 Top Inspirational Athlete and Keynote Speaker Award from the International Association of Top Professionals. Thank you, Marques, for joining us.
How are you, Shamar? Thanks for having me on.
I am doing great. I'm really interested in diving into your story. So take us on your journey from where you started to where you are now.
So I'm from Washington, D.C. I went to Howard University. I graduated with a degree in finance. I was drafted to the National Football League by the Jacksonville Jaguars. My rookie head coach was Jack Del Rio. I had a fantastic experience in the National Football League, almost 6 years playing there. I'll tell your audience the same thing that Jack told me and the entire rookie class when we were just rookies out of college. In order to be successful in life, be your own CEO. Jack said, right, Shamar, don't wait for me to tell you what to do, where to go, how to be, or any of that stuff. Jack said, be an individual that is self-starting, self-inspired, and you're all about getting in and going after it. It's such an important factor. And that really drove me in life. So when I got out of the NFL, I struggled for a little bit with alcoholism, addiction, painkillers, nightlife. I had lost my father about a year prior to that unexpectedly. He was only 57. So that was hard. I ended up finally getting into construction. I built an 8-figure-a-year construction company, multiple 8-figure-a-year construction company. We were the largest African-American owned subcontractor in the city of Baltimore and the state of Maryland for 2 years. And unfortunately, my ego, right, Shamar, just got the best of me. I became very focused on money and fame and notoriety and all the things that really didn't matter. And as a result of that, I ended up losing my business, lost my home, lost both my cars, lost all of my money, and I had to leave Baltimore in 2013 April like a thief in the night because everything I had owned and earned was now gone. So I moved to Raleigh with $400 to my name. I ended up starting over. I was fired from 2 jobs in the same week. I took a job as a custodian working in downtown Raleigh, making $8.25 an hour on the graveyard shift. And I ended up at that point finally hitting rock bottom. And when I hit rock bottom, I said, wow, if I don't change after this spoiled milk moment where somebody's trash and rotten meat and nasty, protruding, horrible smelling garbage gets all over me or got all over me. If I don't change now, I'll always be right here on this curb, wishing and wanting something more out of life. And that's when I said, I got to get up off the curb. I got to change my life. And I started speaking in September 2013. Didn't get a paid job for 2.5 years. Got our first paid job in April 2016. Got coached, as you're a coach yourself, marketing, content, books, podcasts like this awesome one, got out there, started putting my story out there, started not worrying about what others thought about my failures, my trials, my tribulations. What I realized, everybody has failures, but not very, it's kind of like the Marines. The few people that are brave enough to actually tell their stories of struggles, adversity, hardship, those are the ones that really make the most impact. And so in the last, what's that, like 7 years. We've worked for over 75 Fortune 500 brands as a speaker. I'm a five-time best-selling author, coach. I'm all these things, coach, podcaster, you name it. I'm all these things wrapped up in one.
Amazing story and congratulations. There were a couple of things that you said, but one thing that really stood out to me. You had the money, you had the fame, you built this amazing business, and yet all of that was stripped away because you said pride got in the way. You started chasing the wrong things. In that moment, what did you notice was the most important thing when it came to building your success?
So, what I would say is what I learned in the moment after the failure, after the bankruptcy, is that if I was ever going to be able to get my life back, right, you are going to always, always remember the following. You must be able to treat people with respect, and you must be able to take and not ever take your people for granted. And that's exactly what I did when I lost my construction company. I took my people, I took my best employees, I took our position, I took our success for granted. So I realized in the moment now, after the spoiled milk moment, after even all that we've gone through, our success, all these things, if you're not appreciative, if you're not humble, if you're not just grateful for what you have, right, Shmar, it can be taken from you in the blink of an eye.
So powerful, and I'm really happy that's what you touched on, because we've had a lot of people come on the podcast and let us know just how important people are to actually growing your business and building your success. And sometimes when you're just starting out, you can think to yourself, it's just me, I can't pay anyone, right? But instead, like, your partnerships, your collaborations, the people in your corner is really going to help you get to the next level. So I love that that's what helps you get back up and going. So let me ask you this question, because after that business failed, you actually went and built another business. What mindset did you have, and how did you get this mindset to say, you know what, I'm going to do it again?
So the mindset that I have now, and I have realized I've had it after the spoiled milk moment in September 2013, is what I call a victory mindset. And that's a mindset where it's not just about your success, right? There's three types of mindsets: fixed, growth, victory. Fixed mindset is completely negative. You think you know everything. You think you can't be taught. You think you can't learn. You think you can't make any adjustments. You think everything you do is great, and you make no mistakes. And that's a terrible mindset. I call it the Marques Ogden mindset of 2012. Then you have a growth mindset, which is good. You want to get better. You want to work hard. You want to work on yourself. You want to make moves. You want to make adjustments, and that's fantastic. But the problem is with that, it's just about your growth. It's just about your success. It's not about everybody else or your clients or your friends or your family. And then you have a victory mindset, which is a mindset where it's about not just you, but everybody around you. And that's what has carried us forward in Ogden Ventures LLC. That's how we're launching our new community, the Inner Game community, which actually is launching today. We're interviewing legendary co-author of the book, The Go-Giver series, Mr. Bob Berg. And Bob has sold millions of his books. It's a parable series. It's fantastic. I've read it. It's great. Bob's a personal friend. Was crazy, right, Shamar? Is Bob, who was a world-renowned successful speaker, 35 years plus, he doesn't even get on airplanes anymore to speak. He's been doing it that long, that successful. He said our book, The Success Cycle, inspires him. So in our community, right, Shamar, it is exactly that. It's a victory mindset. It's not just me talking all the time or my partner Victor. We're bringing in experts, contributors like Bob Berg, like Scott Page from the legendary rock band Pink Floyd, like Tony Michaelides, who used to do PR for Whitney Houston, Bob Marley, David Bowie, U2, Bono. We're interviewing people once a week, and it's a completely free community to get into. And then if you want to get into like the different workshops, the different webinars, you're paying $97 per month. And that's what it is. And so, but again, it's not just me or Victor, right? It's all of the contributors, it's men, it's women, it's entrepreneurs, it's musicians, it's authors, it's people, and with one premise, right, Shamar? Everybody has a story around either you can call it mindset, you can call it resilience, you can call it grit, you can call it perseverance, you can call it willpower. And that is what our community is being built off of.
Oh, I love that. I love that you have this third mindset. Typically, people stop at fixed and growth. But here you are talking about the victory mindset where now it becomes about making an impact. It becomes about serving others, really helping others to grow. So how do you help your clients to achieve this victory mindset or even to walk in this victory mindset?
We tell them about the art of collaboration. Who can they work with? Who can they connect with? Who can they align with that will allow you to grow? So, for example, my business partner in the community is Mr. Victor Garcia. Victor is an expert at scaling existing brands that have something to offer. We have a very good brand, podcast, speaking, coaching, right? All these things. It's great. But what we don't have is an expert in the scaling portion like Victor. So now our community is on school. And again, Victor set all that up. Any successful business, Shamar, any successful business has three keys: great mindset, emotion driven blocks, blocks like willpower, blocks like culture or dreams. And then they have logic building blocks like plan, like systems, like skills. So I am the emotion. Victor and I both have a super strong mindset. I am more the emotion side. Like I talk about the mission, the vision, the dreams, the willpower. That's my side. Victor is more on the logic side. We're doing it on the platform School. We have another platform we host to send out cold emails. We have another platform where we can get people's information that looked up on Google the words mindset or grit or perseverance. We have it where a product where we can send out mass emails without being flag for being an email that you shouldn't be doing. So we've invested in these things, right? And that's the art of what you're talking about. There's no way, right, Shamar, our community, the inner game community, would be where it is today without Victor and without myself. So you need to collaborate and align with people that you trust, that are competent, and that are reliable. And when you do those things, it makes it a lot easier. I'd rather share part of a $1 billion empire than try to do it all by myself and maybe make $1 million in my lifetime. Right? If you're gonna look at that standpoint, you gotta look at together you can do more, which means you can share more, which means everybody wins.
Oh, I just love this that you're talking about. You rather have part of $1 billion empire than have just a quarter million or a million just to yourself. And this is a really good mindset to have because, again, like you said, everybody wins. This is not the Marcus show. This is where, okay, whoever's coming with me, we're going to do this together. And that actually helps you to forge a strong community and build a strong tower. So I love this that you talked about collaboration. I teach this to my audience quite often. I especially notice it between this year and last year that this is where a lot of people are moving. Not saying that this is brand new because it's not, but this is where a lot of people are moving, even when it comes to marketing, doing a lot of collaborations and partnerships. What would you say are like three key points to keep in mind when you're forming your collaborations? And I asked you this because you talked about your partner, Victor, and both of you have such strong points. Like you said, you're the emotions, that he's the logics. That was intentional. You didn't go get yourself another emotional person. You got yourself someone who can do something else. So I thought that that was powerful. So you could share some key points on forming these collaborations.
Three things that you must do to form a successful collaboration. Number one, whomever you're working with, make sure they are competent, right? They must know what they say they know, and they must know what you need to get done and what they need to get done to make it work. So everybody in the partnership has to be competent at their role. Number two, you and the individuals need to be reliable. Don't show up at 12:05 for a 12 o'clock meeting. Do not engage people to do something at 5:02 and work, they get off of work at 5. It's about being reliable. It's about being on time. It's about being early. It's about staying late. This is where I learned a lot from the NFL. As Jack Del Rio said, I can't tell you where to be, how to be, what to do. I can't do that. What I can tell you is if you want to come here, I would suggest coming early. You want to stay here and show us that you really want to be here, I would suggest staying late. But I can't force you. I can tell you to be here between this time and this time. That's the clock in, clock out time. Coming before work, staying after work, that's on you. So be reliable in that sense. And the third thing is make sure that you both have each other's backs or whomever in the group because it's all about trust. For example, in our for the community, right? I paid $3,000 for the licensing for one of our softwares for the year. Victor has an individual, another group that another people that hired him, that want to run cold emails for another type of work that they're doing. Great. They didn't want to spend the full $3,000 to do that. So what did Victor do? He facilitated where those people that hired him, say, hey, Marcus, they want to build and have a domain underneath your software that you paid the licensing for. They're willing to pay you $1,000 to be able to have access for the year. I said, grand, great. I've already paid for it. Why not? So Victor orchestrated the deal. And within 5 minutes, 5 minutes, Shamar, I had a notification in my emails from PayPal. There's $1,000 waiting in your inbox. Boom. And that's what it's all about. It's all about working with people like that. That when things like Victor could have easily had them pay him the $1,000. And you know what, Shamar? I would have never known. Never known because Victor does all the logic back end stuff. But this is what a partnership is built off of. This is where he's got my back, I've got his. When Victor sends me stuff to watch or to do, it gets done. There's no, oh, I'll get to it later. Oh, I'll do this. No, no. When I get it, boom, it gets done. That's reliable. And he knows that I know what I'm talking about when it comes to mindset. So, again, ladies and gentlemen, competency, reliability, have each other's back. But that's a big, because this is again, we're talking about wisdom to wealth. Like, this is how you make wealth. Partner with people that you know have your back. Victor could have easily taken that money for himself. That was never known. But as soon as it came to fruition, he called me, told me what's up. Boom. I got the $1,000. 5 minutes later, we're off and running.
I love it. There's this level of trust that you're talking about in your partnerships and a level of integrity. Because, like you said, you would have never known if Victor would have, tried to play. You would have never known because he would have told you. But because of the level of trust, the respect, and the integrity, he made sure, no, my guy's going to get taken care of so that you can always take care of him. There's also a level of intimacy that's there too. What do you recommend for people who are forming collaborations, partnerships now so that they can build a successful business? How can they go about developing that intimacy, especially with people that they're just now meeting?
You need to, over time, understand that it's not going to happen in the blink of an eye. And I feel I've known Victor now for about 2.5 years. We met on LinkedIn. I was living in my crappy apartment after my divorce, and I had to move out quickly. Victor and I had some easygoing, casual conversations in November of 2022. And then over time and development and trust, we started doing some things together. And then we launched a podcast profit workshop at the end of 2023, which did well. And then we hit the wagon, came back, regrouped, and said, "Man, what happened with that?" "Well, we did okay, but it was just you and me." "Yeah, good point. People got tired. You couldn't keep selling that." "Yeah, good point. We're running out of people that want to monetize their podcast." "Yeah, great idea. Not a great real niche of people that are looking to do this." So then we say, well, what are people looking to do? Everybody talks about mindset or grit or perseverance, resilience. Every successful person I know, I don't care what degree it is, has a mindset or overcoming adversity story. Everybody does. And a lot of people struggle with how to move forward in their business. And they're like, again, right, Shamar, ties back to what? The community, the inner game. Everybody we interview, all walks of life, all levels of success, everybody's successful, but it's all different levels. We're tying it back to what? We're tying it back to a mindset story, a resilient story, because that is what makes the difference. So, again, if you're looking to build with someone, realize it's going to take time. If you try to force the relationship, you usually going to end up pushing them away. Live by this saying: win the relationship, not the job.
Come on now, win the relationship, not the job. I love that. I'm going to ask you this question. You have this spirit of bounce back. Like you just talked about a divorce. You briefly just said it. We talked earlier about your business just completely plummeting. And here you are. And now you're helping people with mindset. Where did you get this spirit of bounce back from? How do you keep on bouncing back every single day when you're facing adversity?
One of my favorite quotes by Bruce Lee: so thou you think, so thou you shall become. Again, so you thou think, though you shall become. So basically, what you think of yourself is your reality. Good, bad, up, down, indifferent, this, that, or the third. It doesn't matter. If you constantly think bad about yourself, if you constantly are like, wow, I can't get this done. Wow, I can't get that done. Blase, blase, blase. Every time life knocks you down, not when, right? Or not if, it's like, it's coming. It's coming, right? Because it's like, well, when life knocks us down pretty much every day, there's some sort of struggle, some sort of challenge that we face daily. And what I learned is learn to move my horizons, which means when I see a challenge, I attack it one action step at a time. For example, I remember when our podcast got moved from one platform to another without me knowing about it, and it broke several of our links. Spotify, Apple, it was broken. And I thought to myself, wow. And I saw this big, massive challenge. I said, all right, what can I do? Action step one: call my producer, Ben. Call him, tell him what's going on, how do we go about fixing it. Then from there, I called Dennis, who is Ben's boss. Dennis gave me some things to try to get done. Then after that, where I called my old publicist, her name is also Ben, Binh, and we worked through, because I have my Apple through her Apple for Apple Podcasts. Got them back connected. Long story short, after about 4 weeks, 4 weeks and many, many action steps that I did to solve the challenge, the massive challenge of our podcast not being on Apple, Spotify, so on and so forth, got resolved. So, in order to bounce back, realize this: you will not overcome a challenge if you sit there and look at the challenge in the big grand picture. Your mind is not designed to handle that much chaos, that much craziness, and you need to break things down one step at a time. And that's what I do today to move myself forward through challenging times and be able, or as you said, to be able to bounce back.
That right there, everything. Like our minds wasn't created to have to face that problem all at once. And I noticed that's where I get stuck. Whenever I start looking at the problem like I have to tackle this whole thing, then I get stuck. But when I take it one step at a time, even 1 hour at a time, that's when I'm able to get set free. So I love that you shared that. I don't want to keep you any longer, but I do want for you to share with those who are listening right now, how can they work with you if they're interested in working with you?
Yeah, I have coaching packages. So if you like to, I have a 6 month package. I have a 1 year package. So it just depends. Our 6 month package is $7,500 for 6 months. Our 1 year package is $12,500 for 1 year. You get weekly coaching calls, half an hour. It's customized for you. It's customized to you and where you want to go. We have consulting, we do speaking. You can go to our website, which is www.marques, MARQUES, Ogden, OGDEN.com. You can also go to our app, the Marques Ogden app, and you can follow us there and check out our podcast, Get Authentic with Marques Ogden. We're in the top 0.5% in the world most popular, and we're very blessed to do so. Then we also have, of course, the Inner Game community. It's a community for doers, not dabblers, for believers, not pretenders. If you want to level up and be around like minded people, this is a community for you.
Absolutely love it. Thank you so much for sharing. I did drop your links in the chat so that everyone can get access. And for those of you who are going to catch the replay, you'll also be able to get access to the links on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram. It'll be in the description. And so, Marques, to get access to your community, is it also on the marquesogden.com?
It is, and it's the innergamecommunity.com. Innergamecommunity.com. But it's also on the site. And again, like I said, it's all you do is sign up. It's on the platform School, create a free profile, connect with us, and be ready for engagement. You're getting into a room of successful, positive, like-minded people that are ready to engage and help you, and we all elevate and we all rise together.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Marques, for taking some time, sharing your journey with us, sharing with us how to overcome any setbacks, how we can bounce back, and really how we can shape our minds to have a victory mindset. Thank you all for tuning in today. This has been another powerful episode of Wisdom to Wealth. We'll see you on Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern for another episode.